listening to The Sportsmen, Mike and Rob.
All right, welcome back to Sportsmen Media, guys. Mike and Rob is here, back in the studio. We got a lot to talk about again this week. We're going to go over some of the Super Bowls, some MLB injuries, shakeups to the MLB rosters, some Angel updates. Let's dive right into the Super Bowl.
Let's go. Let's talk some sports.
And kind of get some of our reaction from last week's Super Bowl. Chiefs 38-35 win over the Eagles. I gotta say, I guess I got somewhat close to the score, except I guessed the wrong team. I said it was going to be 35-27, which it almost ended up being. But the Chiefs came back on the Eagles there late in the quarter. What are your initial thoughts on the Super Bowl, Rob?
Well, they really came on their back on the Super Bowl. It wasn't as scripted. I didn't go to the script because didn't we see this? There was a script out, right? And it was vice versa. They had the Eagles winning, right?
I don't know. Some could say that the NFL scripted wanted the Chiefs to win. Well,
I mean, yeah, it definitely looked rigged. But I mean, I don't think it was rigged. Patrick Mahomes is that guy. It's unbelievable what he can do. I mean, the Eagles going into had the best defense in football, and if you watch that game, Patrick Mahomes made them look not even top 10, dude. Look how many points they scored. It's unbelievable, and Patrick Mahomes is now putting his name up there with the best to ever do it in such a short period of time. I mean, look at he's been in 2 Super Bowls in 5 years. 5 years as a starter. He's been a Pro Bowler every single year. He's been in he's won 2 Super Bowls. He's been in 3.
3 of the last 5.
That's insane. That's one hell of a start to the career. And he's just the full deal. He's got the full package. And I mean, he can run. He can create plays. He's got a hose for an arm. It's unbelievable. The guy's insane. He's like now, like because I'm not a Chiefs fan, like he's now the new villain. And I hate him, but I respect the fuck out of him. I mean, I don't hate the person. It's just a player. He's an easy person to root against. But yeah, man, I mean, Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, that's just a beautiful thing they got going on there. You know?
Yeah, I mean, Mahomes did come back. He showed why he's one of the greatest. However, a lot could be said to, the fact that a lot of people could be the greatest when they're doped up on a lot of insane drugs to make sure they can still play.
Yeah, what's the street name for that? I need that.
He went down halftime. Obviously, re-injured his ankle injury.
Mm-hmm.
And went down at halftime, came back at halftime. I don't know if you saw some of the shots, but there were some shots of his eyes, and his pupils were about as big as his entire head.
It's on a sick one.
So obviously they doped him up pretty good at halftime to make sure he could still play on that ankle because he was feeling it.
Yeah, it's insane. I want to know what goes on like in that little blue tent, because I mean they got the cure for anything.
That reason too is it against NFL rules to be doped up like that. Obviously, the NFL doesn't care because they want their stars on the field.
Now, I want that shit in every sport. I mean, that's I want that everywhere. I want to know what's good, like the science behind all that. Maybe we could do a deep dive and try to get one of those guys on here someday and see what goes on. It's I forgot the name for it. It's cortisol or
cortisone?
No, it can't be cortisone because that's like what you get to replace cartilage and stuff like that, right?
I mean, it's for like lasting pain relief.
Yeah,
and stuff. But he definitely had something a lot more hardcore than that.
Yeah, because like once he hurt his ankle, I thought that was it. I thought because the Eagles were up at the time, I think, and I was like, oh, that's it. Eagles won. There it is. But then he comes out later and has like a 15-yard run or something like that, and just makes him look silly. But yeah, it was a good game. It was a really good game, back and forth. Jalen Hurts played out of his mind. The guy, I mean, if you're an Eagles fan, you should be real excited for to have him in the future. But I mean, even then, he's on his last year of the rookie contract. So they're trying to figure out what to do next with that guy. You got to keep him.
Yeah, no, great game all in all. I mean, there was the controversy at the end with the holding call on that ruined the Eagles' chance of any type of comeback. But if you just watch the rest of their play, their defense did not show up. There was plenty of opportunity for the Eagles to run away with this game, and they did not. You can never just blame a game on one call that an umpire or a referee makes, because there's always something else you could have done better, could have done differently to change the outcome, to not have to rely on one play. There was that kickoff return they allowed for a touchdown. There was the quarterback of the Eagles that allowed the fumble. That allowed more points. So there's numerous things they could have done differently to run away with this game and have it a lot different outcome.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You don't want it to come down to one play. I mean, it's a whole game. You got to be in it. But the refs were. If you watch the whole game, the refs were letting a lot of shit slide. They were letting them play big hits, helmet to helmet stuff, and which. In a big game like that, I like the fact that let them play. Don't call all these bullshit. Don't throw a bunch of flags for minor things. Yeah. It does suck to end the game like that. If you're gonna let them play, let them play. If you're gonna call everything, call everything. Was it holding? Yes, the dude at the very end of the game admitted to it. But again, if you're gonna be calling
very minor holding.
Yeah. I mean, if you're gonna let them play, let them play. If you're gonna call, just stick to the script. Mm-hmm. It does suck that it ended like that, and because if it didn't, then Jalen Hurts and the Eagles had a big chance to make some magic happen at the very end of the game.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens to Chief Eagles next year, especially the Eagles. Eagles losing their top 2 assistant coaches already right after the Super Bowl. Their offensive coordinator, I believe. Went to the Indianapolis Colts. Is now going to be the Colts' new head coach.
Yeah, good luck there.
And then their defensive coordinator, I believe, went to, was it the Cardinals?
I think so.
Defensive coordinator Jonathan went to the Arizona Cardinals. So, yeah, they've lost their top 2. I mean, those are your big coaches outside your head coach. What's the reasoning? We wonder what happened. Anything happened in the locker room? I mean, they just made the Super Bowl, and they've just like that left. I mean, one obviously left for a head coaching job. We can see that. You can't turn down a head coaching job for your own team. The other one, though, I don't think he went for a head coaching job, right?
No. To the Cardinals?
Yeah.
You know what? I don't know, but in Arizona, they have a little bit of dysfunction. As long as Kyler Murray's there, he threw a couple big tantrums last season. I knew their head coach was out once. There was one game, I forgot who they were playing. I think they were playing like the Cowboys or something like that. I'm gonna have to look it up. But you got Kyler Murray over on the sidelines, and the camera's right on him, and he's screaming at the coach, like just full on, looking like a temper tantrum, screaming at him. And it's just things that need to be done, like in the locker room or just off the field. So good luck there with Kyler Murray. I know he's good, but the dude's 5'3". He can move. He's got an arm, but I mean, can he even throw it above his lineman? But
yeah, gonna be interesting to see what the coaching staff looks like for the Eagles next year, and the Colts. Obviously, I'm a Colts fan. Got the Raiders over here next to me, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. But so yeah, no, definitely interesting to see that. Real quick, we forgot to touch on this real quick. I'm kind of just going to rewind a little bit back to the NFL prop bets that we made for last week, and obviously our picks that we made. Rob was right for the ultimate winner of the Super Bowl, as well as I think did you have Mahomes as the MVP?
I did. I did.
So you're right on the MVP, right on the Super Bowl.
Hashtag rigged.
Hashtag rigged. I was completely wrong on the winner and the MVP. However, I made out like a champ on the prop bets, I feel like. I predicted the coin toss correctly. The Chiefs won. They deferred to the Eagles. The Chiefs, I believe, were the first team to score, if I'm not mistaken. You predicted that the first touchdown would be by a running back, which it was.
I did, but it wasn't Pacheco.
It wasn't the right running back, but it was a running back.
Yeah. Well, they got 3 or 4 of them. I predicted
it was Vita Kelsey. I was wrong on that.
It was a good pick, though.
And then I got the Gatorade correct. It didn't get shown on TV, but there were photograph evidence after the fact. It was purple Gatorade raining down on Chiefs.
Upon further review, it was purple. So yeah, he was right.
So only if I actually made those bets for real in Vegas, I should have. But
yeah, State Farm You got Patrick Mahomes as the spokesperson, just how they wrote it up. And no, it was a good game. It was all around good. Yeah.
So, but then we got more shakeups. WBC. Some team or players in the U.S. already pulling out. Some because of injury, some because of other BS going on around the league. I think it was Nestor, right?
Yeah, that was an injury, right?
Yeah, Nestor has the hamstring injury, so he's going to be held out of the WBC now.
So no more nasty Nestor.
One of their top pitchers they had.
And he was fun. He was a lot of fun to watch with all his crazy windups and quick pitches and everything like that. He would have been a lot of fun. That's a bummer for the America. For the America.
Yep. And then we got Clayton Kershaw no more in the WBC.
Yeah, you know what? I seen that, and I was wondering if it was an injury thing. And there was a reporter, and they asked him about it, and he said that he's 100% healthy. It has nothing to do with his injuries, and he's ready to go. He was frustrated about the whole situation. So I don't know. I don't know what exactly happened. Maybe they said, you know what, you're not going to get as much playing time, or you're not going to get on the bump, or this or that, or maybe he wanted the ball game one, and they said no. I don't know.
So what I'm hearing is it's a insurance issue. So all of the players that participate in this World Baseball Classic are under an insurance policy. So if they do get catastrophically injured, the team is not on the hook for their salary. So the insurance will pay the team's salary for the year. And there was a complication, I guess, with him getting insured. So he was not insured, could not play, which I think is kind of stupid. I think it should just be an automatic thing. I mean, if they want to make the World Baseball Classic this kind of world scale thing, they have to automatically protect the players and the teams. I mean, if they want it to be as big as like the Olympics, but for baseball, this kind of bullshit is just what's hurting us from really being a global thing. I mean, I still don't think this is even taken seriously around the world at this point. You know,
the World Baseball Classic?
Yeah, it's taken seriously here in America, but I just don't see it being that world scale we're looking for. I mean, obviously, baseball is not a dominant sport around the world right now. And you can see there's a lot of teams of just no names that we have no idea who they are that are participating. You know, from like Israel and even Italy and just the Czech Republic, even the Brits. I think the only one on the Brits was Trace Thompson. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's just baseball, if it wants to get to that global level, it's got to do something to keep stuff like this from happening. Our stars should not be pulling out. The stars should be jumping at the bit to play in the World Baseball Classic. Yeah,
well, I mean, at least it's not like one of our main dudes. I mean, I know Clayton Kershaw has made it a name for himself as one of the best pitchers to do it, but I mean, he's on the back end of his career, and at least it's not one of our key players for this year. And I mean, I have to disagree though. I think baseball is huge around the world. I mean, if just let's watch this next WBC in the World Baseball Classic, and you'll really see how popular it is. I mean, around the world. But yeah, I mean, it all comes down to money, and it always does. It's sad, but I mean, dude, Clayton Kershaw was my pick to start on the bump game one. But again, there's so much more of the business side of it that I don't know about. I can only speak on it as a fan from the United States. I don't know about, everything around the world, but I mean, from the looks of it, I remember last World Baseball Classic, it was huge, and it was a lot of good baseball and the passion. I mean, every stadium was packed. And I look forward to seeing what they do this year. But yeah, so is there anyone else besides Kirsch and
I think those are really the two right now.
So two pitchers. Did we replace those guys yet?
I have not heard of any replacements.
Okay.
I'm sure they've got to get some kind of replacements because it's not like we had a bevy of just pitchers available for the team. So it's going to be interesting to see if they get someone to replace them. Do they have to work with what they got?
And then
who's going to replace them at this point? I don't see a lot of players just like I said jumping at the bit to be on this. I mean, you have players like Mookie Betts, obviously, that's playing and wants to play with Mike Trout. He said that publicly. It's one of the main reasons he's playing, to be able to play on the same field as these guys he doesn't get to. But how many more we have like Mookie Betts that are willing to jump at that opportunity? I don't know.
I mean, yeah, it's fun because Mookie, a Dodger, and Mike Trout, an Angel. I mean, Mike Trout, the best player in the game. For some of these guys, it's their only chance that they get to be on the same field, on the same side, in the same dugout as some of these other guys. And I mean, to say, oh man, I got a chance to play with this Hall of Famer, this the best baseball players ever. I mean, I got a chance to play with him. It'd be cool to go back to back. I mean, imagine hitting back to back dingers. With Mike Trout and Mookie. I mean, think about how electric that'll be. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's pretty cool. It would be pretty cool too. Like one of these episodes before the WBC starts, for me and you to kind of go over like if we were the managers to see what the lineup would be. You know what I mean?
The lineup for yeah. We can do that. Look for that maybe next episode. We'll go over the lineup, kind of act as our own managers for the team, and see what we can do. Next up, MLB new rules and some injury updates. I want to touch on first injuries or the rules.
Yeah, we'll go with injuries first.
Injuries. All right. So
it's like deja vu. So I mean, the biggest name that's coming up is Jacob deGrom already. I mean, I feel sorry for the guy. Mets fans, they know this all too well. Jacob deGrom, he's not going to be there for spring training, right? And how long?
Well, he's still there. He's only day to day. They're saying it's not very serious. But however, with a guy like deGrom and his injury history, I think you got to take it seriously.
Yeah, everything's serious when you're always hurt.
He's not expected to pitch in the game during the first week of the preseason, as they're just being cautious of them. So his status is day to day. But I mean, is this going to end up being the biggest bust of the offseason? Rangers went out. Now, no fault to the Rangers. They're going out. The Rangers have been trying to win. They've been signing some great players. deGrom.
They got Evaldi. They got a bunch of pitchers.
The other years they signed the outfielder, right?
Marcus Seaman.
Seager and Simeon. So I mean, they're going out and they're signing some good players. They are trying to win.
Yeah, but the best ability is availability, and a lot of those guys. I mean, Seager, deGrom. I mean, these guys can't stay on the field for a whole season. deGrom, they're going to be throwing money away, and they're going to be selling a lot of jerseys.
I mean, as a baseball fan, I don't want that to happen because I think deGrom, when he's healthy, is
he's fun.
The best pitcher.
He's a lot of fun to watch when he's healthy, but the dude can't stay healthy. I mean, what do you do?
That's my same prediction for the Mets signing Scherzer to all that money last year. I said the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
They signed Scherzer. What was happening? He was out half the season for the highest contract ever in MLB history.
I think he still played more than deGrom, though, right?
He did play more than deGrom, but he still missed like half the season, paying him $40 million a year to sit on the bench and do nothing.
With those two guys, I mean, I think Max is still more valuable. I mean, just the presence, like he's a dog, and I mean, he's a winner. He's a winner, but
if he's not on the field, he ain't winning nothing.
Yeah, but there's so many things that he can bring. Like I think of Max Scherzer as like just that veteran presence that you want to kind of help a lot of these young guys coming up. It's like this is how a winner fucking carries himself. Don't like when he's on the mound. I've heard of things like don't talk to him or don't do this. He's in the zone. I mean that's that dog you want on your team. I don't know if deGrom has that in him. He kind of seems like too much of a nice guy, which is. It's not a bad thing, but it's not a leader. I mean, you're paying with Max. You're paying for everything else that he brings, not on the mound. Does that make sense? Yeah. And deGrom, you're paying for that great arm, the one that shoves just triple digits, just sick off speed, the location. It's just an all around amazing pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if you're paying for that leadership, that mentality of just I'm the shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, and then on the other end of the side here, you got Steven Strasburg, comparable to Jacob deGrom. He had another setback.
Oh, yeah, that's sad, dude.
To his return, another setback to his. Did you have Tommy John surgery?
Well, I heard he might not ever play baseball again, and I remember when he was coming up, he was just all the hype, and I mean, he was really, really good. You know what I think of when I think of Strasburg? I think of Mark Pryor.
That's exactly what I was just thinking.
Yeah. I mean, just you hear about these guys like the chosen one, the prodigy, the guy that's going to come up.
That
and
was Mark Pryor. He
Yeah.
said it was going to be the next biggest thing in baseball.
It's sad. Yeah. That was back then too, when the Cubs had Kerry Wood, Mark Pryor, and they were the shit. I think they had Zambrano.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah. Yeah, they were stacked, dude. And it's just sad because you never want to see guys go down that, because I mean, it's heartbreaking, you know. You have the talent, all the talent in the world, you know, you even have the work ethic, but your body just gives up on you. It doesn't even give you a chance. So yeah, I feel bad for Strasburg, and
I just hope a lot of young people coming up these days for the MLB in future years are really taking note of all these injuries and learning how to take care of themselves at a younger age, because I feel like from even when we were younger, this was kind of the biggest topic, was throwing junk at such a young age is just tearing up the development of everyone's arms and leading to these injuries later in life. You know, you don't need to throw curveballs at 12. You don't need to throw split fingers, fastball, changeup.
yeah,
All young kids need to throw.
yeah.
Maybe as you get older in high school, you can start throwing that kind of stuff, but not in Little League. And I think that's leading to a lot of this late time injuries.
Well, yeah, and I mean, baseball, it's a year-round thing now too. There's no breaks. There's winter ball, you know. There's all kinds of things, and I mean, travel ball. I mean, there's so many. It never stops, you know.
More toll on the body because you're playing year-round now, instead of just half of the year. And
but I mean, but that being said, though, too, there's so many just with like modern technology and everything like that. There's ways where these pitchers like Verlander and I mean Max. I mean, we just talked about how he was injured, but I mean, look at Verlander. Like, yeah, the dude is old and he just got off of Tommy John, but I mean, he's still shoving. Like, I mean,
removed from Tommy John.
It's just back in the day, you never really thought of like these old dudes throwing even close to upper 90s, and these guys are touching triple digits. So, I mean, there's got to be a secret there too. It's the way they keep up on their health, the way they take care of their bodies. So it's like there's both sides of it, you know. Like, there's updated ways of taking care of your body, and at the same time, it's like, oh well, there's so much baseball, like. You got to find that good balance, you know what I mean? So you don't get hurt.
Yeah, no, you definitely got to find a balance. You know, body needs rest, ample amount of rest too. They can't just be going 24/7 like everything seems to be going these days. You know, it's going to take a toll on you eventually. The human body is not indestructible by any means.
Yeah.
You know, other notable ones here, I think, is Starling Marte is coming back from injury, hoping to be ready for preseason as well. Key one for the Mets there. Hyun-Jin Ryu for the Blue Jays is a key pitcher coming back from Tommy John. He's still on schedule. Hopefully he doesn't have any setbacks. As a key piece of the rotation for the Blue Jays. And then, of course, we already touched on Nestor for the Yankees out of the World Baseball Classic with a hamstring injury. He says he's felt no issues during a bullpen session, so it's only precautionary as of this moment why they're holding him out of the World Baseball Classic. I don't know if we have any other standout injuries. Walker Buehler, he's going to be out. He's going to miss at least the first half of the season, I think.
Yeah, that sucks. That's like him. He was out all last season too.
He's got this elbow problem. He's going to begin a throwing program within the next 2 weeks to hopefully start. Blake Treinen as well on the 60-day DL as he recovers from a right labrum and rotator cuff surgery for the Dodgers.
Technical difficulties, but it's all good. Wait, who's the last guy you said?
That was... What did I say? It was for the Dodgers, Walker Buehler, and Blake...
oh, yeah, the reliever.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's good. But, again, age is getting the better of him.
Age is getting the better of him. And then we got... Still got Chris Rodriguez, hopefully going to be ready for spring training. He was one of those, could be the next phenom coming up for the Angels, but can't stay healthy either. He had some freak injuries, though. I think he had a back thing that kept him out before his arm.
Yeah, no, a lot of promise, and I hope that he stays healthy because I want to see what he could do, you know.
I think chances for him as a starter is kind of out the window. That's what the Angels were trying to work him as, but I think he could end up being like a legit closer down the line. Maybe the next K-Rod for the Angels. He's got nasty stuff when he's healthy.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely need a closer right now. But yeah, I mean, we're talking more about Angel news later because I don't know if
You got Lance McCullers Jr. for the Astros, Michael Brantley, Alex Bregman. You got McCullers, whose form has been temporarily shut down from throwing. As a couple of days ago, he's day to day. We got Alex Bregman's broken left index finger has healed, and he's been able to swing since the start of January. So
Alex
should
Bregman
be back and ready.
He was in the celebrity basketball game, I think, wasn't he?
I don't know. I didn't really.
I think he was.
I didn't really catch the circus of the NBA, which we'll touch on next week. What a joke! But yeah, but I mean that was back in January. He should be healthy and ready for spring training. They're saying it's healed. He started swinging since January, so he should be good to go. And let's see if we have any more notable injuries. Joey Votto, shoulder status still to be determined. He's day to day for the Reds.
He'll be ready.
Liam Hendricks, he just got an illness apparently, but on the day-to-day list as well for the White Sox. Kyle Hendricks for the Cubs has a shoulder issue. We'll throw a light bullpen session soon, see where he stands. He's day-to-day. And then I think that is it for the most notable injuries. Evan Longoria for the Diamondbacks, he's day to day.
Oh yeah, I forgot he's there
With a thumb issue. Yep, he's on the D-backs.
Longo.
I know. Everyone I think's kind of forgotten about Evan Longoria. But let's jump into the MLB rules.
Let's go. A bunch of new rules.
MLB rule changes. What do we like? What do we hate? Do we hate anything? Do we like anything? I think the first biggest rule change, the shift, obviously not being allowed anymore this year. So no more shift. I believe the new rule, at the time a pitch is thrown, all four infielders are required to be on the infield dirt or infield grass, with two on each side of second base. Players will be able to move as soon as the ball leaves the pitcher's hand. Originally, the infielders would begin on one side or the other, but the new rule here is kind of eliminated. What do you think that's going to bring to baseball this year?
Well, it's definitely going to bring more athleticism, more web gems. Guys are going to be able to show like a little bit of what they got. You know, you're going to be forced to play more defense. You're taking a little bit of the numbers out of where to play. You know, I kind of think it's an easy way out. I was one of those guys that's like, oh well, dude, if someone's shifting that far, dude, lay a fucking bunt down, or try to slap something the other way. I never understood why. Like no matter what, I mean, I know it's a head game. You know, I know it's the biggest battle was the one between your ears. But yeah, if I'm a left-handed hitter and you got the third baseman like where the shortstop is and no one down the line, I don't know why you don't just try to poke one down that way. I seen a few guys do it and I loved it. You know, I mean, that's the whole chess game with the game within the game. I think it's a good move. It's one of the rules that I don't mind. Yeah, I mean, it forces you to kind of play a little bit more old school baseball.
Yes, no, this is definitely the biggest rule for me that I definitely agree with because I always hated the shift. It takes a lot away from baseball. Now, obviously, what they're trying to do is increase the offense. The league batting average is down to 243 in 22, which is the lowest since 1968. So they're trying to increase the offense. Now, this is really obviously going to affect the lefties the most, which are the ones that get shifted on the most. But you're seeing more righties get shifts on them too. Mike Trout had 4 outfielders against him.
Crazy shifts that I've never even seen before.
Yeah,
they're getting cute with it.
Yeah, I think it was the first time I saw 4 outfielders was against Mike Trout. 3 infielders and 4 outfielders taking away anything in the outfield.
Yeah, just some slow pitch softball vibes.
Now, I think a lot of it goes into analytics, even for the hitter standpoint. They're saying, yeah, go ahead and hit it down the line, right? We'll give you this whole side of the field because in the analytics side of things, taking the bat out of a power hitter's hand just to hit a single or a double down the other way instead of that chance for a home run definitely is still in the defensive favor. You know, they'll take that double and they'll take the next batter that's not as good and they'll get him out. So there's a lot to be said to why a lot of hitters didn't do that, because they still wanted to hit their power. They wanted to hit their home runs. And, majority of home runs aren't hit to the pull side. They're not hit, oppo by most hitters.
Yeah, it's because a lot of these guys are trying to play for themselves, and they're not thinking about like the team, like what's best for the team. Get on base. It's like the whole the money ball shit. Can you get on base?
That was the biggest thing they were looking for in players is, can you get on base, and does he get on base? How he gets on base, does he get on base?
But everyone's trying to hit dingers. I get it, and that goes to play for why you said the batting average is as low as it is since the 60s. I mean, it's because everyone's trying to hit bombs. They're not trying to just get barrel. They're not trying to just put good wood on the ball. They're trying to just hit the ball out of the park. And yeah, it's cool. It's fun to watch, especially if you're a casual baseball fan, you don't really know the game that much. Yeah, bombs, dude. Everyone knows what a home run is. Even if you don't know baseball, I know what a home run is. You hit the ball over the fence. That makes sense.
Home runs equal money in the eyes of the player and eyes of the fans. That come out, especially the casual fans. They come out every year. They're looking for that home run. They're not looking for singles. They're not looking for walks. I get it. It's more exciting to see a home run. You got the home run. You got the music, the fireworks, the crowds erupting. Much more exciting to see a home run than just a single.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I'd rather see a win.
It's that shit that I'm not gonna get the quote right, but Ichiro Suzuki, for baseball fans know that he was one of the best hitters that's ever lived. I mean, he said something along the lines of, everyone can hit a home run. I can hit a home run whenever I want, but there's something sexy about hitting something in the opposite field, hitting singles and stuff like that. That takes a lot of, I'm gonna look up the quote, and I'm gonna get back to you on that. But
if I'm not mistaken, Ichiro, if you combine his Japanese stats and Americans, doesn't he have more hits than Pete Rose even?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you put him, if he's played his whole career in the MLB, he'd definitely be on the top of that list. But again, different times and just different times. I mean, Pete Rose,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So definitely, it's definitely going to increase offense. I think. Was it Joey Gatto? I think is going to be one of the most hitters improved this year. I think because of the shift.
Joey Votto?
No, Joey Gatto. He was with the Rangers with the Dodgers now. Gatto, the outfielder, DH.
Oh, Gallo. Joey Gallo. Yeah.
Gallo.
Hey.
Sorry, Joey Gallo. Is going to be the most improved, one of the most improved hitters this year because of the shift.
We'll see. But you know what? He got so much hate when he went to the Yankees. I remember when he was with the Rangers, the dude was unbelievable. And yeah, that was the shift got the better of him mentally. But the dude had so much power. He was in the home run derby. He was one of the best hitters in the game, and people just so quickly forgot about that. But yeah, he started
second with the Yankees, but as soon as he went to the Dodgers, he started doing really good.
It's because he didn't have that toxicity of the New York Yankee fans. I know Dodger fans aren't that much better, but it would be cool to see him tear it up. He's with Minnesota now, but yeah, and I'm glad he's out. He's out of there, and he has a fresh start. So he definitely. He's hitting some of the longest bombs I've ever seen. The dude's got serious pop, but he's one of those guys too that only swing. He has one swing, and that's swinging for the fences. So we'll see. I hope he has a good bounce back year.
Yeah. So hopefully, let's see. Hopefully, this affects baseball for the positive. It's obviously it means more runs, more action, more hits, which is what baseball needs. We need something. Baseball almost is getting to the point where they need something like the steroid era again to bring back. But even though
legalized steroids.
Even though saying that though, like league attendance is still at a sky high. Viewership is still at a sky high. So baseball's not anywhere close to that, even though it feels like it sometimes. But it's definitely more popular than it's ever been.
Well, the blackouts don't help out. It's hard to watch games if you're
It's all about money. All about the money.
Yeah, make games easier to get and easier to watch.
Easier to watch for fans everywhere. And baseball, you'll see that just take off. The other rule changes here we got is for the pickoffs. Pickoffs would consist of any time a pitcher makes a pickoff attempt, fakes a pickoff attempt, simply steps off the rubber for any reason, as well as the defense requests time. Pitchers are allowed 2 disengagements per plate appearance without penalty. The disengagement rule resets if a runner advances a base within the same plate appearance. How it'll be enforced after a third step off, the pitcher will be charged with a balk unless at least one offensive player advances a base or an out is made on the ensuing play after the step off. So I guess what they're trying to change here, lack of action on the base pass has been a concern in MLB in recent years. So I think they're trying to improve steals with this because now, I mean, once he picks off, a certain number of times, he can't pick you off anymore.
Yeah.
There is no pickoff attempt unless they get you out. So that you can advance. If they were to pick you off and you don't get out, you get that base automatically anyways. So I think that hopefully will increase steals. Steals are on all-time low, obviously. We don't get the steals as often. I think a lot of that has to do with people like Mike Trout and others getting freak injuries on stolen bases. I think has really put the damper on it. Yeah,
I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to speed up the game too, but it kind of takes away from the game within the game. The chess match, just the fooling people and this and that. But I mean, a lot of that has to play, or a lot of that is because these pitchers are just throwing so hard too. It's hard to get a good jump. When a guy's throwing over 100 miles an hour to the catcher, it's bang bang, dude. You got to be so quick. And yeah, those freak accidents too. I don't really like it, but I'm open to it. And that goes with one of the other changes is the pitch clock. But so yeah, you can pick off twice, and then after that, it's a balk. So then they get the automatic base. I just feel like all these new rule changes. It's hard to. They're making it complicated, and I feel like baseball. I mean, what do they like? They tell you just simplify things. Don't think.
My biggest thing in life is everyone is always moving at such a fast pace these days. Rushing to get to work, rushing to get to the store, causing accidents because you're in a rush for no reason. Like, time is precious, and I get it. Time is important. Time is valuable. Time is money. But at the same time, baseball is one of those things. You go to the ballpark, you sit there, you're enjoying your Dodger dog or your Angel nachos, or you're sitting there with the crowd and the environment. Your escape from reality, I guess you could say, to sit back, slow time down, and enjoy life. How much do you really enjoy life rushing everywhere? Everyone always in a rush. And I think that's why I'm always going to be against the time to speed up baseball. Just for the fact of why. Just sit there, enjoy it. Take it all in.
That's beautiful, Mike. That's beautiful. What is that, James Joyce?
Yeah.
No, yeah, seriously, I can't agree with you more, but it's because you love the game. If you love the game, you want it to last. If you love something, you want it to last for as long as you can. It's like
it's a chess match. It's not a speed. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon.
It's like making love to your woman, dude. You don't want a quickie. You want it to last as long as you can.
Woman.
I just I don't like speeding up the game as well. I get it for viewers, but that's the casual viewer. I just I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not for it. I'm not a huge fan of the pickoffs either, because I think that's just part of the mind game. Mind fucking the runner on the base with the pitcher and the catcher, and the fake moves, the nods, the holding the pitch. I mean, it's just all part of the game.
You know what it might do though too? So let's say that you picked off twice, and then the guy thinks, okay, he's not picking off again, I'm gonna go, and then they go, and then now a catcher can call to throw one high, and what was that called again? Pitch out. Mm-hmm. Yeah, pitch out. It might increase that you might get to see some of these catchers' arms. Let's see, test me. So
I guarantee you we're going to see a lot more pitch outs now after they picked off twice. If they know the guy's probably going to steal, they're going to pitch out and try and grab him. I feel like that's definitely going to increase. Yeah. And then we'll probably see a rule change on that next year too. Not allowed to pitch out no more.
Nah, that's whack. But yeah, so more action. I mean, that's something to look forward to, is more action. Let's see how fast you are. Let's see how strong your arm is.
I just don't think players need any help to steal bases. I think they just need to get their heads out of their ass and be more aggressive. I feel like base running aggressiveness has definitely gone down.
Yeah, well, third base coach too.
The Angels made a statement going first and third all the time with their offense.
That's that old school Mike Soch thing.
Exactly, which is a big reason why they won that year.
Hit and runs,
base run, hit and runs, running hits.
So hopefully we see more of that.
Hopefully. The other thing we got going on here is bigger bases. I mean, you've seen the memes. Jose Altuve standing a little scrawny thing on top of the base because he's tiny. The bases are huge now.
Pizza boxes.
But, I mean, they're only increasing 3 inches. 3 inches is a lot, though, when you're talking about a game of inches when it comes to stolen bases. How many bang-bang plays come down to inches?
It's not the first time that Mike said 3 inches is a lot. So put that on note. I think people are making it a bigger deal than it is. I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference. But maybe it does invite people to steal more. You know, hey, like if you think you have more of a chance, then maybe people will take it. But I don't think it's as big of a deal.
Mean, in theory, you're getting 6 extra inches because you're getting 3 inches from both bases.
Giggity.
So you're 3 inches closer on both sides.
True.
Get a bigger lead off. So it definitely is going to increase stolen bases. I think they should really see an uptake. I'm all right with the bigger bases. I'm not too worried about that. I mean, the main thing I think they're trying to do is injuries, reduce injuries, so you're not so close to the defensive player and the offensive player. I mean, you do see those injuries. They step on the first baseman, they roll their ankles, they break their ankles. So it's a good thing for safety issues. I'm not too crazy or worried about it. I don't think it's going to really affect too much.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's just kind of a neutral rule for me there.
Yeah, I'm about it.
The other major change, is a recent change, is ratified by the association. Position players pitching. The new rule: teams now will be more limited in when they can pitch a position player. Previous rule allowed them to use one win up or down by 6 or more runs, but the sides are discussing a tweak in which the leading team will have to be up by as many as 10 or more runs, while the trailing team will have to be down by 8 or more in order to pitch a position player, as well as I think they're trying to limit it to just the 9th inning or later now, right?
Mm-hmm.
9th or extra innings, which I think is good because I think it got a little out of hand with position players pitching last year. I mean, did I like seeing Albert Pujols on the mound? Yes. Is it fun for the game? Is it fun to look at sometimes and watch? Yes. But I think it did get a little out of hand.
Yeah, I remember saying something about this like not too long ago. I got a lot of hate about it, but I definitely thought that it was hurting the game. No one wants to see some dude up there throwing 42 miles an hour. Like challenge these guys. You know what I wouldn't mind is seeing a position player going up there and actually giving a shit and trying.
Right?
Yeah, dude. I mean, like let's see.
These position players obviously can throw hard.
Yeah,
are they lobbing it in? I don't know.
Yeah, it's not fun to watch. I mean, yeah, they look like they're having a good time, but as a fan, that it was killing the game. No one wants to see that shit. And then all the controversy it stirred up about like these guys that so there's these unwritten rules about if you're up by this much, and they have a position player coming in there and just lollygagging it in there, like throwing was that ephus pitches and just barely throwing the ball over the plate. You're not supposed to swing, or you don't swing to hit the ball over the fence. What the fuck is all that about? I'm so glad that they're trying to fix it a little bit more. It's just it's not fun. It's just like these guys are professional athletes. Let's see what they can do. And yeah, dude, if you want to save your arms, I get it. Then you have a position. A lot of these position players too in college, they pitched and they played outfield, or they pitched and they did this. So let's get up there and fucking shove, dude. And especially with Shohei coming up with their emergence of the two-way player, hopefully that would kind of inspire other people to be like, you know what, dude, I can throw 90, or I can do this. I got a good breaker. I'm so glad that they're moving past it, or trying to move past it.
I mean, I hope with Shohei's time, like you said, I hope he does inspire more people. I'd like to see a majority of players be two-way players moving forward in the future of MLB.
Oh, yeah, it's fun.
To take the bump on the mound whenever you want them to, go back in the outfield, hit, pitch, run, steal. I mean, I think that's going to make the game more exciting. Like, there's no reason why professional athletes have to be limited to one side of the ball. They're professional athletes. And if they can't, I mean, I get it. We're seeing something never been done before. Not to discredit anything.
At this high, so like we are, but we're not at the same time. Yeah. Like think about it too. Michael Lorenzen, that guy's a two-way player. He just wasn't talked about. Carlos Zambrano, that guy hit some bombs And he was a great pitcher in his day too.
We've had some great pitching.
Dontraw Willis,
Yeah.
remember him?
Oh yeah, he dropped.
Yeah, he about drop bombs too. It's like we had these two-way guys, but not consistently.
I think Kershaw's been dropping some bombs, hasn't he?
You know what? I don't know. The dude, Jake Arrieta, he can hit too. You got these guys that could have been two-way players, but I don't know. But like, it's because Shohei did it. He does it at an all-star level on both sides. He could be a Cy Young and he could be an MVP. But the whole thing with MVP is kind of like, I think that eventually that if Shohei inspires people to be this two-way player, eventually they're going to make their own award for it, I think, because the whole issue with last year, the whole debate about Aaron Judge and Shohei, it's like, yeah, Aaron Judge is having this great season, but then so is Shohei. I mean, but Shohei's not doing, he's not breaking the home run record or anything like that. So I think that because people are getting almost used to it, like, oh, Shohei's doing this, he did.
I mean, a lot of the awards these days are all political, I feel like, based. Like, they're all biased. They're all about, same with the Hall of Fame. I mean, everything is popularity vote at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's no way you can say when Shohei performed great on both sides that he's not the MVP when he is more valuable than any other player because he is two players in one.
Yeah, you can't even really
argue.
Yeah.
You can't argue. I don't care if Judge hit 100 home runs.
Mm-hmm. There's
nothing valuable than having a guy that can do both.
Oh no, absolutely. And the fact that the Angels record was kind of shitty, that shouldn't hurt him that much because, yeah, valuable. I mean, you think of most valuable, and valuable was the more valuable player was Shohei. I mean,
exactly.
Judge is great. He's great, but I mean, I just don't. He's not pitching, dude. He was so great on one side of the ball. Mm-hmm. It's not like he was like this unbelievable Gold Glover
he
too.
Was the most, maybe they make an award for. Well, we already have an award for that, like for the best offensive player. Don't we?
Yeah. So there's the Hank Aaron. There's the Silver Slugger.
Yeah. So those are obviously go to Judge. He's the best. He was the best offensive player of the year.
Absolutely.
And then you can have maybe one for the best defensive for each league, even.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's the most valuable in the entire league, it's Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah, there's no one else.
No way.
There's no one else.
If he did shitty on pitching or shitty on hitting and only did good on one, then yeah, okay, Judge MVP.
Yeah.
If Ohtani was only worried about offense and he did shitty in pitching, but he had better EA than Scherzer's ever had.
It's crazy, dude.
I mean, he was up there in everything. He was in the Cy Young talk.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows what he's going to do this year? But I mean, there's no way you don't give it to the guy like that. I mean, he was pissed about it, and he's using that for fuel this year. He's verbally said he was absolutely upset that he did not get MVP.
Well, yeah, like you said, it's a political thing. And the fact that Aaron Judge beat that record, and it's a tainted record anyways, because it's not the most home runs ever, in a season. We've seen it. We've seen it with Bonds, but that's a whole nother thing too, because the steroids. But at the same time, we talked about that before too. Well, the pitchers were using steroids too, so it's kind of an even platform right there. But that's a whole nother topic that we can get into another day. But yeah, I think that eventually they'll come up with kind of like a Shohei award or something like that. The Ohtani, oh yeah, you won the Ohtani award or something like that. Some two-way player thing, because he got gypped, dude. I mean, valuable.
Yeah, value is about how much value you bring to as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, we'll see what happens this season and get into that more as we go along throughout the season. But other important things to talk about regarding the Angels and Shohei Ohtani, Mike Trout. Trout's obviously finally came out verbally, said he's going to do everything he can to make sure Ohtani stays. Reading into that a little bit, obviously, Shohei Ohtani has not verbally committed one way or the other. He's kind of deflected the question, hasn't answered the question, doesn't want to answer the question. But I think that says a lot, obviously, what you've been saying, Rob. I'm still hope. I like to be optimistic about the Angels to start every season. I'm optimistic that they're going to have a great year this year. They got much more improved. I think they're in the top 5 of most improved teams this year. When you look at the WAR stat, they've improved, I think, 5.5, and they're tied for 5th with the Red Sox in the league. But I think it says a lot that he's kind of got his mind already saying he's not coming back unless something drastic happens. And I think that's why Mike Trout's even said he's going to do everything he can to convince him to stay. Hopefully, it's enough. Hopefully, Trout can do it. I mean,
yeah, enjoy the last remaining games Shohei is in an Angels jersey, because he's gone, and I don't think that there's anything that Mike Trout can do or anyone could do, unless like we said, unless the Angels win the World Series, which I doubt it. I used to be optimistic about the Angels, but it's just
3 times.
It's you know what, and the more you get hurt, the more wall and kind of just shit builds up. But Shohei's gonna get paid.
Yeah,
he's gonna get paid a lot, and he's gonna go to a big market.
I'm gonna remain optimistic. He stays. I do believe he likes playing here. I believe he loves the fans here in Anaheim. I can't see him going to deal with fans like in the Yankees or the Dodgers, even though that's where everyone's saying he's going. I just can't see him
maybe
having
Padres,
that mentality of wanting to do that. Maybe somewhere like the Padres or the Mets, he could end up. I definitely see the Mets because he's going to throw whatever money he wants at him, as he's been doing with everyone else. I think the Mets will definitely offer him the biggest contract out of anyone. So it's going to be the Mets to lose at this point because of just the owner.
Yeah, he's going to get so much money.
He's not going to get outbid. I can tell you that much. But yeah, I think it's World Series or bust. Well, hopefully that's what happens. I mean,
what can Mike Trout do? Like, he said he's going to do everything he can to keep him. Hey, bro.
Whatever Rizzo did to keep Judge. Remember, they kept, that was a big story. Rizzo kept talking to him and showing pictures of their dogs playing together and saying, hey, you can't break this up. And
yeah, that's cute. But at the same time, didn't they make the playoffs?
They did make the playoffs.
You know?
They lost.
Yeah, but at least they're in big games. Hey, bro, we were so close last year. We could do it again this year. Yeah. I mean, the Angels, Mike Trout can't do that.
Get to the World Series for him to stay.
I mean, yeah, we're talking about World Series. We haven't made the playoffs in so long. You know,
but the Angels definitely are much better. I have high hopes. I mean, we're definitely better than last year. And look how good we started last year until whatever freak shit happened in the locker room that caused that to just completely make a 360. We were the best team in baseball for the first month and a half of the season.
Yeah, and
then there's just one losing streak, 14 games. Just completely
worst in franchise history, I think.
Yep, almost the worst in baseball history, I think. Almost.
That's horrible.
And it completely derailed the season. There was so much promise. If we can get back to that and maintain it, I think that could be enough to show Ohtani that this is a winning team. The owner talking to them and showing them what they're willing to go after next season, what they're willing to pay him, could entice him to stay. But I mean, they brought in now Ward's hitting coach. The guy that helped turn Taylor Ward around and made him, at the beginning of last year, as good as Mike Trout. He was matching Mike Trout swing for swing, if not even better, to start the season last year, having his emergence until he had his freak injury. It all comes down to injuries for the Angels. If they can avoid the injury bug, break that curse of injury. The Red Sox had the Bambino curse. We got the injury curse. Can we break it? They brought in his hitting coach. His name is Trent Woodward. Into a consulting role. Maybe they'll hire him full-time as a batting coach after preseason. He's also worked with Brett Phillips, who's a really good hitter. So, I mean, the Angels are definitely making moves. We signed, who's the pitcher the Angels just signed?
Matt Moore. Lefty, veteran.
Another lefty, but a great veteran reliever. I think he had like a 1-something ERA in 70 games last year.
He's going to relieve for sure.
I believe so.
Okay.
He might be that guy that mixes into that 6th swingman spot.
Yeah.
Nevin's saying they're going to use like a bullpen piece for the 6th spot when they need it and not all the time.
I hope it's not one of the openers, because I'm not too big of a fan of that. Like, I just feel like every time they have a relief pitcher go 1 or 2 innings to start the game, it kind of sets you up to fail, because then you have to get cute with your which game.
The Tyler Skaggs game, they threw the no hitter with.
That's different, dude. That's they're playing for a fallen, brother. Like that's one of their family, like that was a
just
whole.
How baseball works like that, though.
Yeah, it's a beautiful story. But that doesn't happen all the time, I'm not a big fan of the opener. But yeah, it was a good signing with Matt Moore. Are they done? Are they done making moves before opening day?
I don't think they are. I think Adele's getting traded. I hope.
We've been hoping Adele's been getting traded for like 3 years now.
With the signings they did, there's really no room for him anymore unless he just rakes in spring training. Like, he's hitting a home run every game.
Yeah, but hopefully he rakes in spring training, ups his value, and then we can get like a decent arm. But I'm over the Adele. hype.
Hashtag bring back Brandon Marsh.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen what he did when
For the Phillies in the World Series.
Brandon Marsh has done more in the playoffs than Mike Trout.
That's true.
That hurts, huh?
Sad to think about.
Yeah, Mike Trout's been to more Eagles playoff games than he has been as an Angel.
He might just quit baseball and join the Eagles at this point.
I mean, he might get a ring faster. Fuck. But
maybe the next Bo Jackson playing both sports here soon.
I mean, he's built like a running back. He could.
He could play basketball.
Yeah, but then he'll get hurt doing that too. I don't like to hate. I don't like to be a hater, but I mean, it's just numbers don't lie.
Players have reported. We've seen some bullpen sessions. Otani's looking good. Tyler Anderson threw live BP the other day. Anderson's looking really good. So really good promise so far. Like I said, we're still hoping to make it down to spring training this year. World Baseball Classic for a game down in March. Games are starting in 10 days? 9 days? 28,
I think so. Yeah. This is gonna be the last weekend without baseball.
Last weekend without baseball. So baseball is coming soon. We'll be able to report on spring training games. We might even be able to host a spring training game live here on the show and kind of talk as the game's going along. And more to come next week. And it's going to wrap it up for episode 24.
Well, no, we got some real brief the NBA shit that's going on.
Oh, yeah. Let's not forget about the Clown League. But want to leave that one?
So I'm not the biggest fan of how they do the All-Star Week. I haven't been a fan since they started picking their teams, like a pickup game in recess. So the slam dunk contest happened the other day, and Mac McClung won. Whoever that was, I didn't even know his name until I seen it for the dunk contest. And apparently, white man can jump because he's a white dude. So put that out there. Tell Wesley Snipes and Woody Harrelson. But yeah, so no more power to him. Oh yeah, what
happens this whole weekend.
So and another thing, the Cavs are retiring Kevin Love's number 0. What do you have any thoughts about that?
Is Kevin Love really a Cavalier? Is that what he's known for?
Exactly, dude. So the standard,
the Timberwolves retiring his number, but
dude, the standard for retiring a number and putting the number up in the rafters has just gone downhill. I love Kevin Love.
I mean, he won a championship with him, but that was because of LeBron.
It's
not because of Kevin Love.
It's just what is the standard for that now? I mean, what is his tenure? He hasn't even been there that long, like you said. And what has he done really? I don't want to hate, but like good player.
Yeah, he's a good player.
But to retire the number, I don't know. Someone said too, it's a message to LeBron that they're not going to retire his number, kind of like a slap in his face. But I don't know.
If I was Cavaliers, I wouldn't retire his number either. He fucking bailed on him.
Well,
he left to go win a championship with a super team. Came back,
won a championship.
Rebuild his legacy. Did win a championship, and then still fucking left.
Yeah,
but if you come back to build your legacy, you stay. You won a championship, fucking stay and keep winning. Why are you chasing championships? That's why LeBron's never going to be the greatest.
Well, yeah, I think that he brought balance to the force once he won a championship, and the whole move to LA was it wasn't a basketball decision. It was for his brands and for his his businesses and stuff like that. So it was a strictly business move. I mean, I'm a Laker fan, and I'm still kind of like. It still hasn't set in about LeBron.
The Lakers' legacy at this point.
Yeah, it would. I just after Kobe, we were just sucking for so many years, and then we got this hope with LeBron and hope with AD, and things haven't been playing out. So
I love the AD sign. I hate the LeBron one.
I mean, I loved it at the beginning, but the dude's not healthy, and hopefully they can get something for him too, but that we'll talk more. I think there's only like less than 20 games left of the season, so we'll see if they can even make
14 to make the playoffs,
something like that. So
the last remaining games.
We'll have a whole episode on that later on. But yeah, season's coming to an end, so we'll see how that rolls.
Yeah, we'll see how All-Star Weekends. We're recording this on All-Star Weekend. How it plays out next weekend and all the future updates.
That's it.
Until next time.
Let's go.